Emily Bautista has already impressed audiences with her memorable turn as Eponine in the recent touring production of Les Miserables. And now the young performer is leading the North American tour of Miss Saigon. To take on the part of Kim in the tour, a role she understudied on Broadway, Bautista has strengthened her voice, immersed herself in research, and sought advice from actresses who have previously played the role. We sat down to chat with Bautista about bringing Miss Saigon across the country and why this epic musical is a must-see. Hi, Emily. It's so good to see you.
So nice to be here.
Of course. Thanks for coming by. I'm so excited to talk Miss Saigon with you a little bit. Let's start right there. How does it feel to be playing Kim in the U.S. National Tour of Miss Saigon?
Oh my gosh, it's so weird just like hearing that.
Right.
It's amazing. It's been an incredible experience. The cast is amazing, and this role especially is something that I've always admired. So getting to fill the shoes and, well, at least attempt to fill the shoes and make this role my own, it's been a really, really cool process.
Yeah, I can imagine. You obviously grew up knowing this music. You knew of this show. What did it mean to you then? Did you ever dream that you'd be playing Kim in Miss Saigon?
Yeah, it's actually a little weird because, you know, I grew up with the music, and it was always something that I loved to sing. I always wanted to go see it, and I saw it when I was in high school. But when I showed my interest in theater, everyone was always like, oh, you'd be the best Kim in Miss Saigon. And it was like such an honor to like be told that. But at the same time, it was kind of interesting because that was one of the only roles that people saw me as, because it's one of the only Asian roles. But actually getting to do it and hopefully be that for someone else, it's pretty cool.
No, absolutely. And we were lucky enough to host a conversation with you and Eva Noblezada and Lea Salonga. What did that conversation with those two remarkable women who have both, you know, made names for themselves in this role, and your research, how did all of that help prepare you for taking on this role?
Yeah, you know, just talking to them and hearing all the wisdom they had to impart from experience, it was so enlightening. Eva's been a really good friend of mine since we did the show in New York together, and she's just always had my back. She gave me a call before we went in the next day, and she was like, if you need anything, like, let me know, like, I got you. And just hearing about their experience in it, and especially their process to finding their Kim. It's just, you know, it's very different. Everyone goes at a different angle, but both of their Kims are just so remarkably beautiful that it's cool to see, like, to learn from them and learn the differences between how to portray her.
Right, right. Would you say there's a Kim sisterhood between the three of you?
I think so. I think there's a lot about this role that, you know, when you do it, you learn a lot. You learn a lot from doing it. So, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, shared experience, of course.
Totally.
As you mentioned, you made your Broadway debut in Miss Saigon, understudying the role of Kim. What do you remember most fondly about that amazing experience? There's
this moment in Saigon where it's the beginning, and Kim is the only one on stage, and she looks up because hears a helicopter, and you take your hat back and you look up, and then all of a sudden the world just commences, and everything floods in, and the whole cast comes on stage. And I just remember the first time going on for it, it was just like, whoa, like I'm here, like all the jitters kind of went away. They just slowly started to melt away as the music started playing, and you know, the spotlight came up, and I turn around and there's vendors, and there's, you know, people going to work, and it was just the sounds of the street. It was such a cool experience because I got to be on stage every night, which was amazing. But seeing it from a different angle, not my normal track, that was really cool.
Yeah. Right. And obviously much has been made about how demanding and grueling the role of Kim can be for obvious reasons, but what's something that playing this role and researching all of this, what's something that you've learned? What is something that playing Kim has taught you about Emily?
That's interesting. You know, I think something that I've learned and am still learning is the challenge of trying to find motherly love, because I'm not a mother.
Right, you're young.
Yeah, right. I've never had a kid, and you know, I have my brother and my sister, and I have a very, very strong love for them. But through this process, it's not the same. Sisterly love isn't the same as motherly love.
Right.
And that's definitely been a challenge that I'm still trying to find, but it's also opened my eyes to how much is in me that I need to give and how much I can give. Yeah, and trying to find that balance and trying to find how to open myself up to be able to give that much emotion.
This production is directed by the wonderful Lawrence Connor, who's incredible.
Yeah.
What do you love most about this production of Miss Saigon, and why are you excited for audiences all across North America to be able to see it?
Oh man, I love working with Lawrence because he really lets us discover what the scenes can be. He gives us our direction and he lets us play around with it, and then we pick and choose what works. And it's just, and I feel like the show, because of it, it's just more natural and it's more real and raw. And we're able to discover little bits in the show that make it alive and keep it flowing. So I think what audiences are going to be able to see is a living piece of theater, which is, I think, really cool. And just this story is going to be so important to tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're someone who's done this production many times now. Is there a moment in the show or moments that still catch your breath, that still give you chills? What are they?
Totally. I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. The nightmare scene.
Yeah.
It's my favorite scene. It's so, oh God, that scene is just everything wrapped into one. But it's so heartbreakingly beautiful at the end, and it takes so much out of every single person on that stage, in the orchestra, in the crew, on the creative side, to get that scene to what it needs to be.
Sure.
And, you know, after all that hard work is done, and we do it every night, it's the heartbreaking moment of that helicopter flying out, and just the Vietnamese ensemble on stage watching it fly away. It's just,
it's iconic.
Yeah, so iconic. And you know, I think a big thing about the show is that everyone knows it as a helicopter show. But when you see that helicopter, it's so much more than just a scenery. We watched a lot of documentaries to get in the mindset.
Sure, yeah.
And to learn about the history behind it. And there are a bunch of scenes from different documentaries of just a helicopter flying away and people hanging off of it. So that scene, just representing that completely real event, is just so breathtaking, so heartbreaking.
Yeah, more than just stagecraft. That sort of when you know the emotional heft of that is incredible. By going across the country like this, you are going to have some people in the audience that are seeing Miss Saigon for like the 10th time, but you're going to have a lot of people in that audience that are experiencing their very first Miss Saigon. What do you hope all of them take away from this experience, from this show?
I hope that they are able to take away the love from the show. This show has a lot of love to give, and at points it's hard to see that, just because of how intense and how emotional it is. But at the end of the day, it's a show about love standing the test of time, and even the most broken of places, you will find love, and it's there. It's just, it's hard, and love's not easy, but that belief and that strength in love is completely present.
Thank you so much for coming in,
Yeah,
Emily.
thank you for having me.
Of course, good luck on the tour.